Did you think I was done? Did you really think I was done? Now, a few of you reached out to me and asked me to make another video. Thank you. I woke up needing some kind of challenge. Some existential threat. I needed a grind. So I figured we'd up the ante and start a brand new grand campaign as Carthage. Yes. Democracy, commerce, and faith. The beating heart of Carthage is the city itself, a major port and bustling trade hub nestling in the North African coast. Carthage, a name which comes from the Phoenician Kart Hadasht, new city, was founded around 814 BC by Phoenician settlers from the city of Tyre. Legend holds it that they were led by mythical queen Lycia Dido, the first ruler of the city, who, in Roman stories, is said to have been a lover of Aeneas, who was himself the son, the goddess of Venus. Aeneas is from Troy. According to the legend, he would leave her to settle in Italy and become the first ancestor who would later become the Romans. Dido, however, cursed him for his betrayal, and so foreshadowed the many wars to come. The Carthaginians are devout, hard-working people who have spent generations struggling to control the trade in the Western Mediterranean. In accordance with their Phoenician heritage, they are great traders whose home is the sea. As such, they have never held great lands but focused on building a network of coastal and island colonies. Other than their peaceful Phoenician ancestors, however, they were never a people to be crossed. They proved this by successfully conquering the most of the other old Phoenician colonies, subjugating the Libyan tribes, and ruling Sicily until the accursed Romans took it from them. Moreover, the Carthaginian naval power is legendary, and their shipwrights have constructed immense warships that few other nations can rival. Politically, Carthage is a mere democracy in the name only, as its great families have long taken power for themselves. These great houses led Carthage not only to the Senate, but also on the battlefield, and have often consolidated their political power by feats of martial valor. A prime example of this is the House of Barca, and its most famous son Hannibal, who only recently achieved the miraculous feat of crossing the Alps with a great army, including elephants, and attack the Romans from the north. In the following years, however, the war that in the beginning was sure to be won has developed into a stalemate. And after Hannibal's much disputed retreat from Italy, the Carthaginians in return find the enemy on their own soil. In an attempt to stop the Roman army headed for Carthage itself, the Carthaginians have once more deployed their forces. While their army is inferior in numbers, the Roman ranks were recently bolstered through the treachery of Massinissa, one of Carthage's former Numidian allies. The two armies are about to clash near the city of Zama. Only one of the two powers can claim victory. This conflict will go on to rule over the Mare Magnum. For Hannibal, his honor, reputation, and not the least, the safety of his city are at stake. I'll see you on the field. Here we go. By tradition, Carthage was founded by Queen Dido, who had fled from the city of Tyre in Phoenicia after her husband was killed by her brother. Even in the days of legend, there was a link with Rome, because Aeneas of Troy, the father of the Romans, was the lover of Dido and then abandoned her. In her grief, she killed herself, cursing Aeneas and his descendants as she died. Carthage, the name means new town, continued to flourish. A Phoenician colony that outgrew and survived its parent land. The Phoenicians and their successors, the Carthaginians, must be credited with the invention of glass, the bireme galley, and with being expert traders thanks to their superb navigational skills. Even before the Greeks reached the western Mediterranean, Carthage was a superbly wealthy city, thanks to its mastery of the seas. Carthaginian colonies of the original Phoenician colony, now ring the sea. Modern Barcelona is named after the famous Barca family. Carthage is a maritime power with only a relatively small landowning class to provide military land power. This, however, does not matter as long as Carthage continues to be wealthy. Its coffers pay for mercenaries in abundance when the city needs to go to war. And it is this wealth, the mastery of trade and expansion along the Mediterranean coast towards Italy, that brings Carthage into direct confrontation with the newly rising power of Rome. Now, perhaps, it is time for Dido's curse to have its full effects on the children of Aeneas. Here we go. Mission issued, a son's promise. We need to control the 5 settlements: Corrales, Carthanova, Malacca, Hispalis, Syracuse. Reclaim. I like it. Already, right off the bat, we have a major battle.
We fight for you, my lord.
With no room for mercenaries, although if we released yes. Mercenary war elephants definitely needed to be added. Should we add anyone else while we're here? We could add. We don't need ballistas. I think this is all we need. Get this shit out of here. Get this out of here. Get this out of here.
Ready for battle.
Let's get it done.
Attack!
We are outnumbered. We are facing the Romans. It's going to be, honestly, an interesting battle. But we have Hannibal Barca. Now's our chance to push back this plague that is known as Rome and take back our rightful place as supreme. I'll see you on the field.
These Roman dogs are tenacious. Cut one legion down, and like the Hydra's heads, 2 seem to grow on you. But we will hack them down.
Yes, we will.
Burn to the heart of the Roman people and be victorious.
Yes, we will. 2 arms, my brothers, 2 arms. We are here now, facing Scipio. We need to muster as much courage as possible as our Carthaginian army marches forward to meet them. Look at it in all its glory. Let's figure out what we have going on here. Looks like we have 2 hidden ambushing light Cantabria units. You can tell by their Spanish shield and design. It's an interesting formation, followed by 2 very powerful monstrous units of elephants. Directly behind the elephants, it seems we have some skirmisher units. Yeah, skirmisher units here. And on the left, slinger units. Okay. It's an interesting formation. I'm not entirely sure what the strategy is here. Of course, here we have veteran spearmen, the classic Punic Carthaginian sign. battlefields. Amazing detail. Amazing detail. And then, of course, the fabled Phoenician hoplite, the backbone of the army. And in front of them is some Gallic ally units. It's curious. I'm not entirely certain what the purpose of the formation is, but it does seem to have rigidity in the back, flexibility in the front. Makes me think Hannibal is going to out-tactic his enemy. Here he is, Hannibal on the far Carthaginian left. And next to him is a skirmisher unit on the inside. These are interesting choices. Let's get a lay of the battlefield and see what exactly we're dealing with. Wow, a massive Velite units in the front for Rome. A lot of spears will be thrown. And maybe a small hill here, a small mound. We're going to call this Mound 1. It's the only point of elevation that's obvious. Maybe that's why on the left Hannibal has decided to put his slingers. And the inside, oh, that makes sense. That's probably what they're going to end up doing here, is taking this mound with their skirmishing units, having their main Hannibal unit here, having Hannibal himself drive up the Carthaginian left here to prep for flank. It's possible. These lighter units in the front are most likely there to ambush, to get as close as they can and use their speed to close the distance on the Velite units, to get them into hand-to-hand combat, to eliminate the overall superiority that Rome has at the moment with the pilum and their javelin. That is starting to make sense. Now, one point of concern here, on the Roman left, Carthaginian right, is a mass amount of horse. This is going to have to be something that is removed out of the equation relatively early. The Romans do have a shock advantage on the Carthaginian right, which would make sense as to why they put their Velites on the right, to try to counter with some counter spear throws. And then, of course, shock cavalry. Yeah, and on the outside, skirmisher cav. This is actually starting to make a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Fantastic. Once again, Hannibal and this genius just shows up. We're going to fast forward to just about the point where they could see the white of their eyes. We'll see you in a second. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The battle's about to begin. You can see on the Carthaginian left, there's some shifting going on. Some interesting maneuvers here. This cavalry charge on the left is going to have to be dealt with. These skirmisher units are falling back. The light units are ready. They are visible. They have been seen. They are no longer hidden, and they are ready to close the distance. But Rome has sent its cavalry up first. Some skirmisher fire exchange here. Hannibal himself is luring in a cavalry charge. He's going in right now. He's going in for a charge. Hannibal himself is engaged in hand-to-hand combat. These skirmisher units are peppering each other as much as they can. The far Roman left is still there. Carthaginian left is still there. The elephants are pulling back, which is interesting, an interesting choice here. Elephants are pulling back, and there has been a shift here on the far Carthaginian right. A cavalry charge as the Velite units try to screen this center point here to keep them from being flanked. One Velite unit has pushed up to push back on this Velite unit. Let's go back to the Carthaginian left. A lot is going on at the moment. Hannibal seems to be winning his hand-to-hand combat, but he is locked in, totally locked in. And as planned, these lighter units have closed the distance on some Velites, removing the possibility of them sending their javelins. Genius. And now the Mound 1 has been totally taken by these slingers, giving any kind of supporting fire to both the cavalry units and to any wavering units here coming in to the front. But soon, this bulk force here needs to reinforce as soon as possible. Back here on the right, Carthaginian right, looks like a skirmisher fire is trying to pepper off these exposed units here, just whittling off as many as they can as they wheel around the Carthaginian elephants, saving them as much as they can. Some interesting contact at the moment. Looks like the Carthaginian right has been secured. Let's zoom back here on the left. Romans are now out of formation. Hannibal himself is locked into fatal combat. I don't think anyone's coming to help him. I hope he survives. The Carthaginian hoplite spearman units here have engaged a legion. It looks like a Triare unit. This is going to be a long, difficult battle, but the core force here is lining up, preparing themselves to engage into the main line. Wow, they've really done a good job just splitting up the cohesiveness of the Roman legion. And now, coming in to bolster their forces, 3 units of hoplite unit are coming into a stationary Roman target that have some flanks exposed. I mean, this is really working in Carthage's favor. These 2 units held an entire force worth of charging units. They took away the charge bonuses and have gone purely for these Gallic units. And now, look, they're about to come in and assault the back of these Roman units. I mean, these guys are as good as done. Look at that. Absolutely genius maneuver by Carthage. Some Velite units are coming in, trying desperately to support. This one Gallic unit is holding on as long as they can, but they're going to need some sort of assistance relatively soon. Back onto the Carthaginian right. The cavalry units have secured their flank. Now the right side has to wheel around and prepare themselves to eliminate. These Carthaginians have to hold on. I'm really worried about this unit here. Hannibal himself undoubtedly is sending multiple messages. We need reinforcements on the center right. We need reinforcements with the Gallic allies. They are just getting slaughtered by these Roman units. Somewhat of a foreshadow for what's to come. This veteran Triare unit and this veteran spearman are locked in what looks like a relatively equal battle. The Punic hoplite is holding and pushing. This entire line here is holding out. It's now a grind fight. Desperately needing reinforcements. The Carthaginian forces hold on. Reinforcements have finally come. The right flank is starting to use its newly acquired advantage, peppering the back of the enemy units as the Gallic units just try to slice and dice through these veteran units. This is Scipio's army after all. The very same army that has had a successful campaign throughout Africa, nearly bringing Carthage to its knees. These Punic forces are holding on as long as they can. Wheeling elephant units are preparing for their charges. This is really where the battle will make the most sense. These Velite units need to be taken out. So it seems that the cavalry from the right side are wheeling around, trying to take out these units, but these Velites are doing a pretty good job of holding their own, downing a lot of these cavalry units. Since there's so little armor, these shields are doing a lot to save each unit. But right when they thought they had a charging elephant unit comes in to try to assist, but it is a terrible charge. Terrible charge. That may not be good news for the elephant units. They might get lucky and cause them to break, but to be honest, that didn't look like a very effective charge. Back onto the Carthaginian left. Wow, it is an absolute duke out between Hannibal and Scipio himself. General versus general. It's going to be curious to see who comes out. Only one can come out of this battle. I mean, they are fully locked on. Undoubtedly, Hannibal himself is issuing inspirational commands, as well as rallying his units to try to win this as much as he can, adding every possible advantage to his repertoire. These Punic units are holding their own. They're trying to hold this line for as long as they can. But their phalanx has broken, and it seems that they are just doing their best to hold. A Roman cavalry unit is pulling out of the engagement, looking for, I'm assuming, some sort of wheel opportunity here. Carthage has to close this gap. They cannot give this sort of mobility advantage back to the Romans. And yes, it does seem the elephants are going to have a full-on charge. These cavalry units just decimating them as they walk through, crushing the horses' skulls as they march through. I mean, that was absolute carnage for them. A very highly successful point of contact there. Now looks like the skirmisher cav is heading over here to Hannibal to provide him advantage. In the meantime, these units are starting to break. We're starting to have units fleeing from the Carthaginian side. These looks like the lighter units which first engaged the line. They did their job. They did their job. They may have sacrificed themselves, but they did exactly what was required of them. these auxiliary units. Look at this bloodbath. These Gallics just hacking and slashing as many Romans as they can. Here comes the main Carthaginian elephant charge into the backs of Rome. Look at them fly. Hannibal's wheel maneuver has done an excellent job, and they are starting to shift and break. They need out. The Carthaginian units are closing in, causing chaos to the Roman camp. They know everyone's fleeing. Everyone's beginning to run. It seems that this is the chance Carthage has been looking for to seal the deal on ancient Rome, to crush this army who dared to march onto Africa and challenge them mano a mano. Take them down, all of them. Leave none alive. Destroy as much of Scipio's army as possible. The Romans are not familiar with running. They are not familiar with retreat. But today, the bitter taste of defeat will be resonating. The history books will record this day as a tremendous Carthaginian victory. Yes, we are. Hannibal has done it. Battle-hardened Hannibal, who, it seems, barely survived his cavalry engagement, has led his troops to victory, and once again, through his own personal sacrifice, had been the one who made all the difference, taking Scipio out himself. Absolutely incredible. Bravo, Hannibal. To a wonderful campaign, to a campaign of redemption, to a campaign of absolute destruction. That, my friends, is the sound of Rome's defeat. I will see you on the field. Victory! That's what I'm talking about. God, that was so tactically good. What an amazing battle. Destroying the Roman force. But no, Scipio has died. Let's take a moment. And nope, okay, done. Moving on.
Make haste, men.
Look at that. They don't even have
We
any
fight
horsemen
for
left.
you, my lord.
But we are losing a lot of men. A lot of money, excuse me. A lot of money.
Ready for orders.
Bye-bye. You're dead. Thanks for playing.
Ready for orders.
We have some level ups to do. Hannibal Barco. We need some campaign movement. And maybe some upkeep as commander. We are losing a lot of money, after all. Now let's upgrade mercenary recruiters. Yeah. Military tribunals, subject army. I don't know if we need that at the moment. Scouts definitely might be useful. +1, -6 upkeep cost for land units, 1 in foreign territory. We're going to do scouts. Because we need to be moving fast. I think we need to let some people go. Any outrageous costs? Yes, you gotta go.
It is an honor to serve you.
Let's see how our naval battle goes. Reason being is that might reduce our expenses here quite a lot. We have a lot of work to do. So let's quickly bang this out
Orders, my
and
lord.
get rid of this pathetic Roman navy. Idiots. Idiots. Look at this. They even have a couple hundred more men than us. I kind of. Yeah. Okay. Let's just do it.
Gods, grant us the strength to beat these Romans. Let us meet their misplaced pride with honest courage. Gods, let us claim victory in your names.
Yes.
And for our noble people. To arms!
To arms. We are about to engage in a naval battle against the Romans. Our great admiral at the helm, leading his men, leading his triremes, his biremes, his melee ships here in the Mare Magnum to become dominant. This is the Phoenician specialty. They've been succeeding in pushing back the Roman navy battle after battle. Full steam ahead. He prepares his men at the front to begin their engagement. We have first contact. Perfect target for our general here. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. The Romans are charging. And just like that, our trireme absolutely wrecks this. This freak of nature. Trireme. Let's figure out what's going on with the rest of our units. It is absolute chaos. Our men are jumping on to the deck of the enemy ship, planning to fight hand-to-hand combat. And they just die immediately. I'm not quite sure what's causing them to die so quickly. But it does seem to be some kind of miracle. Everyone is spontaneously combusting. Ships are getting rammed. Damage is being done. Battles are accruing. These guys seem to be fighting hand-to-hand more appropriately. They hit the ship so hard they spin completely out of control. This is absolute chaos. This is absolute chaos. I've never seen anything like this before. Look at these guys. They're doing some sort of victory dance. Some sort of side lean, you know, like gangster shrug. Victorious. Let's find out what the rest of our units are doing over here on the right flank. This seems to be a more balanced and realistic fight here. I guess the gods aren't blessing our units there. It's possible the Romans have found some sort of secret weapon. Maybe they poisoned the food supply of the Carthaginian navy before engaging. They seem to be completely dodging the ship. I'm not quite sure why they are fleeing so quickly. We'll have to circle back. These units here are taking a huge hit. It's only a matter of time before they fall down. The athleticism of these soldiers is just astounding. I can't quite tell who's winning. That was a Phoenician ship that just went absolute haywire. The Romans might be winning. This is not looking good for the Admiral. Hand-to-hand combat is fierce on this vessel, although many men are drowning, dying, falling to the deep. Look at the helm of this ship. Oh no. Oh no. He lost. We actually lost. How could you, Ball? How could you? Oh man. I can't believe it. It's so embarrassing. I lost. I actually lost the naval battle. God. Oh. So not good.
Our voyage is done.
So not good. So not good.
Ready for orders.
Well, yeah, that happened. Okay, it's fine. That's why we're here. That's why we play these games out. No savies, no saving and then going back and then redoing it. That's exactly why we do this on hard difficulty. That's exactly why we play this through. All right, everyone, that's our first episode. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment. We are about to dive into domestic policy in episode 2. Now, we have to organize our democracy to fight against the Roman horde. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you soon.